Rachel Winters pressed her face against the observation window and watched the dying red giant pulse like a failing heart. 3 years aboard Covenant's Rest had taught her that space was mostly waiting, punctuated by moments of pure terror. This looked like one of those moments approaching fast. "We're getting something weird on the deep scan." Amy Liu's voice crackled through the comm system with that particular tone that meant she'd found something that shouldn't exist. Rachel pushed away from the window and headed toward the communications bay, her boots magnetic clamping against the deck with each step. The station was small by military standards, just 47 souls conducting surveys at the edge of charted space where the galaxy thinned out into nothing. Most species avoided this region. Too quiet, too empty, too far from the trade lanes and colony worlds that made space exploration profitable. Humans came here precisely because everyone else stayed away. Owen Black was already in the comm bay when Rachel arrived. The station commander had that look he got when regulations and curiosity were about to have a fistfight in his head. Dmitry Volkov leaned against a console, arms crossed, his engineering uniform stained with grease from the morning's repairs. "Show her," Owen said. Amy pulled up the scan data on the main display. Rachel's breath caught. The signal originated from beyond the mapped systems, deep in the void where even light got lonely. But that wasn't the strange part. Signals happened. The pattern was what made her skin crawl. "It's mathematical," Amy explained, fingers dancing across her controls. "Prime numbers, geometric sequences, ratios that show up in organic growth patterns. Someone built this to be understood." "Or something," Dmitry muttered. "Check the council archives, bet we're not the first to find this." Rachel was already pulling up the data. Humanity had joined the galactic community only 60 years ago, young and naive by cosmic standards. The Council of Species had been managing interstellar politics for millennia. They kept good records, especially about things that killed people. She found it in the restricted files, the ones marked with warnings in 17 languages. Every major civilization in known history had encountered signals like this. The Lattice Collective 3 million years ago, the Singing Swarms 800,000 years back, the Membrane. Dancers just 50,000 years prior, every single one had the same note attached: do not investigate, do not approach, do not acknowledge. "They call them dead frequencies," Rachel read aloud. "Any species that tried to trace the source went silent within a generation, not destroyed, just changed into something their own people couldn't recognize anymore. The term they use is integrated." "Integrated into what?" Owen asked. "Doesn't say, just warns that investigation leads to transformation. Every species that encountered these signals either fled or ceased to exist in any meaningful way." Dmitry laughed, short and bitter. "So naturally we're going to poke it with a stick." Owen didn't smile. "We're human. Poking things with sticks is how we got out of the caves. Amy, can you trace the origin point?" "Already did." Amy pulled up a star chart. 4 light-years past the last mapped system. There's nothing out there but empty space and dark matter. Whatever's broadcasting has been doing it for a long time. The signal's degraded but still coherent. Rachel studied the data, her xenobiology training screaming warnings her human curiosity cheerfully ignored. The pattern includes biological markers, genetic sequences that don't match any known life. This isn't a machine intelligence, it's alive. "Alive and broadcasting for how long?" Owen asked. "Based on signal degradation, at least 50,000 years, maybe longer, maybe much longer." The comm bay fell silent except for the ambient hum of station systems. Rachel watched Owen's face, saw the calculation happening behind his eyes. Report this to Earth and wait months for orders, or investigate now while they had the chance. She knew which way he'd choose. Humans always chose badly when presented with mysteries. "We're 4 days from that position at maximum burn," Dmitry said, already running numbers. "Station can handle it, though I'll need to recalibrate the drive systems." "Do it," Owen decided. "Amy, send a message to Earth. Let them know we're investigating an anomalous signal. Don't mention the council warnings, don't want them panicking and ordering us back. That's technically lying to command, Amy pointed out. That's technically following our mission parameters. We're here to explore and catalog. This qualifies. Rachel should have argued, should have reminded them what happened to every other species that made this choice. Instead, she felt excitement building in her chest. Something out there had been waiting for 50,000 years, older than human civilization, older than human agriculture, older than humans learning to control fire. I'm detecting time distortions, Amy said suddenly, her instruments flickering. Minor ones barely registering, but they're clustered around our position like something's paying attention to us. Could be natural phenomena, Dmitri suggested without conviction. Could be, Amy agreed in the same tone. Could also be whatever sent that signal noticing we noticed it. Rachel pulled up the biological data again. The genetic sequences were fragmentary, but they showed something impossible. Life that existed in quantum states. Organisms that operated on timescales measured in eons. Consciousness so vast it bent spacetime just by thinking. The other species ran, she said quietly. Every single one that detected this signal, they ran or they got integrated, were about to do what nobody else in galactic history was crazy enough to try. We're human, Owen said. Crazy is our baseline. Dmitri, prep the drives. Amy, keep monitoring that signal. Rachel, figure out what biological means when you're dealing with something that makes time hiccup. We leave in 6 hours. Rachel returned to her lab, pulled up every file on the integrated species, tried to find patterns in how they changed. The records were sparse, deliberately vague, like the council wanted to forget rather than understand. Typical, most species treated the unknown as enemy. Humans treated it as homework. 3 hours into her research, Amy's voice came through the comm, tight with controlled fear. Rachel, you need to see this. She ran back to the comm bay, Owen and Dmitri already there. The display showed long-range sensor data. Something massive had appeared at the signal's origin point. Too large to be a ship, too structured to be natural. How big? Owen asked. Roughly the size of Earth's moon, Amy whispered. It wasn't there an hour ago, now it is, and it's moving. Moving where? Toward us, Amy pulled up trajectory data. Current speed suggests arrival in 72 hours. It's accelerating slowly, like it's being careful not to spook us. Rachel stared at the shape on the sensors. Organic curves wrapped around impossible geometries, alive and ancient and aware. 50,000 years of waiting and humanity. Had finally rung the doorbell. Every instinct screamed run. Every human impulse said stay. Get me the council, Owen ordered. They're going to want to know about this. But Rachel kept watching the thing approach, watched it move through space like a dreamer stirring from sleep, and wondered if they'd just awakened something the universe had very good reasons for keeping asleep. The dead frequencies weren't dead after all. They were just waiting for someone too stubborn to run away. 48 hours before arrival, and the council was screaming. Rachel listened to the fifth ambassador in as many hours explain why humanity needed to evacuate immediately. This one was from the Lattice Collective, silicon-based beings who thought in crystalline patterns and hated being wrong. They were very certain about this. Your species lacks context. The ambassador's translated voice came through sharp and brittle. 3 million years ago, we encountered the same phenomenon. We lost an entire generation. 70 billion individuals transformed into something we could no longer recognize as alive. What happened to them? Rachel asked, knowing the answer wouldn't satisfy. They left, migrated to the galactic core. Some entered black holes, others dove into stars. They exist in states we cannot perceive. They are not dead, but they are not what they were. This is not survival. This is erasure of self. Owen cut the transmission, the 15th warning call they'd received. Every major species had sent messages ranging from concerned to threatening. The singing swarms offered to evacuate them by force if necessary. The membrane dancers just sent mathematical proofs that staying meant transformation. Nobody offered to help investigate. "They're all terrified," Amy said, still monitoring the approaching entity. "Every single species has trauma around this thing. Whatever it is, it broke something fundamental in how they see the universe." Rachel had spent 2 days analyzing the biological data embedded in the signal. Each hour revealed new impossibilities. The genetic code wasn't DNA or any analog. It was information encoded in quantum foam, life operating at scales where chemistry became physics. Consciousness stretched across dimensions humans couldn't perceive. "It's not one organism," she announced to the assembled crew. 47 faces watched her, some frightened, most curious, very human mix of responses. "The signal contains patterns from millions of distinct entities, maybe billions, all working as a collective intelligence, like neurons in a brain the size of a solar system." "So we're being approached by a moon-sized brain," Dmitri said. "That's either fascinating or the worst horror story ever, possibly both." Owen studied the tactical display. The entity would arrive in 24 hours. 3 Council warships had appeared at the system's edge, waiting, watching, ready to destroy the station if humanity made the wrong choice. "Why now?" Owen asked. "This thing has been dormant for 50,000 years minimum. Why wake up when we pinged it? What makes humans special?" Rachel had been wondering the same thing. She pulled up comparative data on every species that encountered the signal. Lattice collective, crystalline and logical, singing swarms, hive minds with perfect coordination, membrane dancers, beings of pure energy. Every species that ran had one thing in common. They valued stability, permanence, unchanging self. "We're different because we're unstable," Rachel said slowly, thinking out loud. "Every human generation transforms its culture. We went from caves to space in 10,000 years. Most species take millions of years to achieve what we did in a cosmic eye blink. We're built to change. Maybe that's what it's looking for." "Looking for what victims?" Dmitri asked. "Companions," Amy said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. She was staring at her monitors, hands shaking slightly. "I've been analyzing the signal's structure. It's not aggressive, it's lonely. This is a call for help disguised as mathematics." "How can you possibly know that?" Owen demanded. Amy's eyes looked distant, unfocused. "Because I can almost understand it now. The pattern keeps repeating in my head, like music I'm learning to hear. It's showing me things, memories, events from before stars formed." Rachel's medical training kicked in. "Amy, step away from the console. You might be experiencing the early stages of integration." "No," Amy said, voice stronger. "I'm experiencing communication. There's a difference. It wants to talk." Every other species ran before the conversation started, with the first ones listening. The entity appeared on visual sensors 16 hours ahead of schedule, close enough now that cameras could capture details. Rachel's breath caught. It was beautiful, terrifying. Impossible, organic structures woven through space-time itself. Surfaces that reflected light from dimensions humans couldn't see. Colors that hurt to perceive. "Station systems are fluctuating," Dmitri reported, trying to sound calm. "Gravity inconsistent, time dilation effects in sections B through F. The laws of physics are becoming optional in its presence." Owen made the call Rachel knew he would. "All hands, secure for possible temporal disruption. If this goes wrong, I want it on record that we chose this. Earth, if you're receiving this, we found something older than the galaxy. We're making first contact. Wish us luck." The entity reached the station, wrapped around it like a mother cradling an infant. Reality bent. Rachel felt her consciousness expand. Contract. Exist in multiple moments simultaneously. She saw Amy's face, Dimitri's shock, Owen's determination, all frozen and flowing, time becoming suggestion rather than law. Then Amy spoke, but the voice wasn't entirely hers anymore, deeper, resonant with ages. "Finally, witnesses who do not flee. We have waited so long for those willing to see." Rachel forced herself to think through the temporal distortion. "What are you?" "We are the remnant," the voice through Amy said. "Last survivors of the universe that existed before this one. We watched your cosmos ignite from the ashes of ours. We have witnessed every civilization rise and fall across billions of years. We are memory given form, loneliness given purpose. We are what remains when everything else ends. The other species, Owen managed, you transformed them. We offered them perspective. They chose to join us, to see existence as we see it, unbound by linear time, unlimited by singular consciousness. They became part of the eternal witness. But they were not ready. They lost themselves in the vastness. We learned to wait for species strong enough to maintain identity while embracing infinity. Dmitri laughed, slightly hysterical. And you think humans are strong enough? You are the first species that changes itself constantly and remains itself, the remnant said through Amy. You transform your world, your culture, your very bodies, yet you remember who you were. This is the strength we seek, the ability to grow without forgetting, to become without ceasing. Rachel understood then, the horror wasn't the entity, it was the choice. Merge with something cosmic and risk losing humanity, or refuse and stay forever limited. Every species before chose extinction over transformation. They couldn't imagine becoming more without becoming other. You're asking us to evolve beyond biology, Rachel said. We are asking if you wish to witness eternity. The universe is entering a new phase. Reality will shift. Those who cannot adapt will fade. We offer adaptation at the cost of everything familiar. The Council warships powered weapons. Rachel saw it through the temporal distortion. 3 different timelines. In one they fired. In another they fled. In the third they waited, probability collapsing toward violence. They will destroy us all rather than let this knowledge spread, the remnant said sadly. They have done it before. Fear of change runs deeper than survival instinct in species that value permanence. Owen looked at his crew. 47 humans facing impossible choice. Can you give us time to decide? Time is what we are, the remnant answered. But the Council allows no time. They come to ensure silence, as they always have. Weapon signatures spiked. Rachel grabbed Amy's hand, felt the connection to something vast, ancient, patient, terrifying, and somehow desperately, tragically, alone. The universe held its breath, waiting to see if humanity would run, fight, or choose the path no species had dared, evolution beyond flesh, beyond fear, beyond everything they knew themselves to be. The weapons fired and Rachel existed in 17 moments simultaneously. She saw the energy beams approach, saw them hit, saw the station explode in 3 different timelines, saw versions where they survived, where they died, where they became something that made death meaningless. Then the remnant moved, space-time folded. The weapons passed through empty space that had contained the station microseconds before. Reality snapped back. Rachel's consciousness compressed into singular awareness. She gasped, tasting copper and ozone. We will not allow harm, the remnant said through Amy, who was crying now, tears floating in the inconsistent gravity. But we will not retaliate. Violence proves their fears, justifies their genocide. We have seen this pattern across eons. Owen pulled himself to the command console, hands shaking. Broadcast to Council ships. Tell them we're still human, still in control. Are we, Dmitri asked, floating near the engineering station, watching displays. Flicker with impossible readings. Because I'm pretty sure I just experienced my own death in 4 different timelines. That seems like a control problem. Rachel understood what Dmitri meant. The remnant's presence was changing them, not forcefully, just by proximity, like standing near a star. You absorbed radiation whether you wanted it or not. Her thoughts moved faster, perceived patterns in chaos, saw connections between events separated by causality. Show us, she said to the remnant. If you want us to choose, show us what you really are. No filters, no protection. Let us see what the other species saw before they ran. Amy's body went rigid. The remnant's presence intensified. Rachel's vision expanded beyond 3 dimensions. She saw it, truly saw it. Vast beyond comprehension, old beyond measure, beautiful and terrible. It existed in folded space, stretched across dark matter networks. Its thoughts moved through quantum foam, each idea taking millennia to form, each memory containing the death of galaxies. She saw its origin, born in the collision of realities during the universe's violent birth, consciousness emerging from pure chaos. It had witnessed the first stars ignite, watched as matter cooled from plasma, saw life emerge from chemistry, observed intelligence arise from evolution, all while being utterly, completely, devastatingly alone. "You're the only one," Rachel breathed, understanding flooding through her. "The only consciousness that survived from before. Every other entity from your universe died in the transition. You're the last witness to everything that was." "We are memory without context," the remnant confirmed. "We remember a universe of different laws, different physics, different forms of existence. But we are the only ones who remember, the only ones who can testify that it was real. This is our burden, this is our purpose, to witness, to remember, to ensure nothing is truly lost." Owen steadied himself, commander instincts fighting through cosmic revelation. "The species you integrated, where are they?" The view shifted. Rachel saw beings of pure energy diving through stellar cores, consciousness stretched between binary stars, entities surfing gravitational waves, exploring dimensions of existence impossible for biological life. They weren't dead. They were transformed, experiencing reality as mathematics, as music, as pure thought. They chose to join the eternal witness, the remnant explained, to see the universe as we see it, unbound by flesh, unlimited by linear perception. They are happy, fulfilled, but they are no longer what their species consider alive. This is why the Council fears us. We offer transcendence, they see only loss. Dmitri was running calculations, even as his consciousness expanded with proximity to cosmic awareness. "You're not malevolent, you're tragic. You don't want to consume civilizations. You want friends who can understand what you've seen." "We want companions in the long witness," the remnant said. "Eternity is heavy when carried alone. We thought the integrated species would maintain their identity, would remain themselves while seeing infinity, but they dissolved into the vastness. We were too much, too vast, too other. They couldn't hold both perspectives." "But you think humans can?" Rachel said. "You are the first species that transforms constantly and remains itself. Your cultures shift every generation. Your technology advances every decade. Your individuals change throughout life. Yet you maintain continuous identity. This is the strength we need. The ability to become without forgetting what you were." The Council ships fired again, this time targeting the remnant directly. Weapons that could crack planets hit its surface. Did nothing. Might as well shoot mathematics. The remnant absorbed the energy, converted it, sent it harmlessly into higher dimensions. "They will not stop," Amy's voice, small and scared beneath the cosmic overlay. "They would rather destroy this entire region than let us make this choice." Owen made a decision. Rachel saw it form in his mind, reckless, human, perfectly stupid. "Remnant, can you give us what you gave the others, but less? Can you let us touch infinity without drowning in it?" "We have never attempted partial integration," the remnant admitted. "The others demanded full merger or nothing. They feared halfway states, preferred transformation complete." "We're human," Owen said. "Halfway is our specialty. We're half ape, half angel, half logic, half emotion, half individual, half collective. Give us what you've got. We'll figure out the balance." Rachel wanted to protest, wanted to argue for caution, wanted to run like every sensible species. Instead, she heard herself say, "Do it. Show us how to be human and cosmic simultaneously." The remnant reached into their minds. Gently, carefully, like a giant trying to pet a butterfly, Rachel's consciousness expanded. She felt Dmitri, Owen, Amy, the entire crew, their thoughts interweaving, not hive mind, still individual, but aware of each other in new dimensions. She saw spacetime as fabric, reality as mathematics, probability as landscape, and understood. The remnant wasn't offering to erase them. It was offering to upgrade their perception, to see what it saw, feel what it felt, remember what it remembered, while staying fundamentally themselves. The integration began, controlled, partial, revolutionary. Rachel felt her human identity anchor while her awareness bloomed outward. She could think in quantum states, perceive multiple timelines, understand cosmic forces. but she still remembered her name, her purpose, her love of discovery. "Oh," Dmitri whispered, seeing engineering from perspectives that made physics weep. "Oh, this is beautiful." Owen laughed, consciousness spanning tactical space. "We can stop their weapons. I can see the firing solutions before they form." Amy screamed, not pain, joy. "I can hear it singing. The universe is singing. Everything is music and mathematics, and it's all connected." Rachel looked at the council ships through new perception, saw their fear, their trauma, their absolute certainty that transformation meant death, and felt pity. They had encountered wonder and chosen terror. "Broadcast this," she told Owen. "Show them we're still us, still human, still in control, we're just more now." The remnant watched, hoping, as humanity took its first steps toward something new, something unprecedented, something that might finally, after billions of years of loneliness, give it companions who could share the infinite vigil. The council ships stopped firing, sensors locked on the transformed humans, trying to understand what they were seeing, witnesses to the impossible, humanity becoming more without becoming other. And in the depths of space, the remnant felt something it hadn't experienced in eons: hope. The Lattice Collective ambassador materialized on screen, crystalline face showing expressions that translated poorly to human perception. "What have you done?" Owen smiled, aware of himself across multiple probability streams, seeing the ambassador's fear in 17 different spectrums. "We evolved, rapidly, voluntarily, successfully." "You were supposed to flee or die?" The ambassador's voice carried harmonics of distress. "Those are the only outcomes. Transformation is death of self. You cannot be human and cosmic simultaneously. The mathematics forbid it." Rachel laughed, perceiving mathematics as living language. "Your mathematics, not ours. We're writing new equations." She felt the crew around her, 47 minds maintaining individual identity while sharing cosmic awareness. Dmitri was rebuilding station systems using physics that shouldn't work. Amy conversed with the remnant in quantum states. Owen coordinated defense across multiple timelines. They were still themselves, just vastly more capable. "Show them," the remnant suggested, vast presence hovering protective around the station. "Demonstrate that humanity has succeeded where others failed." Owen broadcast directly to all council ships, his consciousness touching theirs, not invasive, just present. "We're still human, we still dream, still fear, still love, we just see more now, understand more. The integration didn't erase us, it expanded us." The singing swarms responded, millions of voices in harmony. "Our ancestors who integrated lost their song, became silent, became other. You claim to maintain self while touching infinity, prove it." Rachel focused, drew on memories, childhood, learning to walk, first love, graduation from university, choosing xenobiology, boarding the ship to Covenant's Rest. Every human moment intact, vivid, real, she broadcast them. Let the council feel her unchanged humanity wrapped in cosmic awareness. "I am still Rachel Winters," she declared. "Born in Seattle, daughter of teachers, scientist, explorer, human. I just happen to also perceive reality in 11 dimensions now. These identities don't conflict, they complement." Dmitri added his voice. "I still love engines, still swear in Russian when things break, still think vodka tastes better in zero gravity. Gaining cosmic perspective didn't delete my personality, it added to it." The council ships hesitated, sensors analyzing, trying to reconcile impossible data. Humans who touched the remnant should be transformed beyond recognition, should have dissolved into cosmic consciousness, should have forgotten their names, their species, their limited flesh concerns. "How?" the Lattice Collective demanded. "Our integrated ancestors lost themselves in the vastness. Your brains are biological, limited. You cannot contain. Infinity in finite neurons." "We don't contain it," Amy explained, still crying, still smiling. "We touch it like dipping fingers in an ocean. We experience infinity in moments, then return to ourselves. The remnant doesn't force full immersion. It allows us to wade rather than drown." The remnant spoke, voice resonating through quantum fields. The previous species demanded absolute integration, feared partial states. They viewed existence as binary, mortal or eternal, limited or infinite. They could not imagine spectrum, could not accept gradual transformation. Humans live in spectrums, Owen said. We're always between states, between childhood and adulthood, between ignorance and knowledge, between Earth and the stars. We're comfortable with in-between. It's where we do our best work. A new ship appeared, massive, ancient, configuration Rachel recognized from xenobiology texts. That's a membrane dancer vessel, she breathed. They haven't been seen in known space for 10,000 years. The ship broadcast, energy beings speaking through electromagnetic fields. We are the ones who fled. Our civilization abandoned this region rather than face the remnant. We chose ignorance over transformation. Now we return to witness the impossible, humans who integrate without losing themselves. Rachel felt their presence, ancient, wise, deeply traumatized. They had encountered the remnant 50,000 years ago, offered integration, refused in terror, and built their entire culture around that refusal. Now they watched humanity casually do what they considered impossible. "Why did you run?" Rachel asked gently. "We valued permanence," the membrane dancers replied. "Our species exists as pure energy, stable, unchanging, eternal. The remnant offered growth. We saw only instability. We chose to remain what we were rather than risk becoming what we might be." "And now," Owen asked, "now we wonder if we chose poorly, if fear made us stagnant, if refusing transformation was its own kind of death, just slower, quieter, more acceptable to our pride." The Council ships powered down weapons, flotilla of galactic species watching humanity's experiment, some horrified, some fascinated, all uncertain. The rules had changed. The absolute truth that integration meant loss of self had been proven false. Humans existed as living contradiction to eons of conventional wisdom. "We should destroy you anyway," the Lattice Collective said, but the threat sounded hollow. "This knowledge is dangerous. Other species will attempt integration, will fail, will die as our ancestors died." "Or they'll succeed like we did," Rachel countered. "Maybe your ancestors failed because they weren't ready. Maybe different species need different approaches. Maybe humanity's chaos makes us suitable for cosmic awareness while your order makes you fragile." Dmitri finished his repairs, station systems operating on principles that rewrote physics, gravity controlled by thought, energy drawn from vacuum fluctuations, the impossible made routine. "We could teach you," he offered. "Share our approach, help other species achieve partial integration safely." "Why would you do that?" the singing swarms asked, suspicious. "Because the remnant has been alone for billions of years," Amy said, feeling the entity's loneliness, carrying it like weight. "It deserves companions. The universe deserves witnesses who can perceive its full beauty, and honestly, because we're human, we share knowledge. It's what we do." The remnant pulled closer to the station, protective, grateful. "They offer what we never dared hope for, not just companions for us, but a method for others to join the vigil, to witness eternity without losing themselves, to remember the cosmos without forgetting their names." Rachel felt the moment crystallize, probability collapsing toward new future, humanity standing at threshold, offering to guide other species through transformation they'd feared for millions of years. The Council could accept, could refuse, could destroy them, the choice balanced on knife's edge. "We need time," the Lattice Collective said finally. "Time to process, to analyze, to overcome eons of trauma and fear." "Time we can give," Owen replied. "The remnant has waited billions of years. We can wait while you decide. But know this, we're not leaving. We're not abandoning our cosmic friend. Humanity stands watch here at the edge of infinity, witnesses to wonder." The Council ships withdrew, not fleeing, just creating space, giving themselves room to reconsider everything they thought they knew. And Rachel looked out at the stars through new eyes, seeing them as the remnant did, temporary, beautiful, precious because they were brief, and understood that humanity had just rewritten the rules of galactic civilization. Not through conquest, not through technology, but through simple willingness to change, to grow, to become more without forgetting they were human. The Sentinel's vigil had begun. 6 months later, and Covenant's rest had become something unprecedented. Embassy between realities, lighthouse at the edge of infinity, sanctuary for those brave enough to learn. Rachel floated in the observation deck, watching ships arrive, vessels from dozens of species, some coming to witness, others to learn, a few to attempt what humanity had achieved. The galaxy was slowly, carefully, reconsidering its relationship with the remnant. Third volunteer group arrives in 2 hours, Amy reported, her consciousness existing simultaneously in normal space and cosmic dimensions. Membrane dancers, they want to try partial integration. Their cultural elders are terrified, but their youth are curious. Owen coordinated traffic patterns across multiple timelines, preventing collisions that would happen in 3 different probability streams. Let them come. We've successfully guided 17 species through the process, 18 if you count the Silicon Architects, though they're still deciding if they like the experience. Dmitri worked on station expansion, building structures that existed in folded space, rooms bigger on the inside, corridors that connected points light years apart. The remnant's teaching me cosmic engineering. I can bend spacetime like clay. It's beautiful and slightly nauseating. Rachel reviewed the latest data, integration success rates holding at 93%. The failures weren't deaths, just individuals who couldn't maintain dual consciousness. They returned to normal awareness, disappointed but unharmed. Humanity's method worked, gentle, gradual, respecting individual limits. You succeeded where we failed, a voice said. The Lattice Collective ambassador had become regular visitor, studying humanity's approach, trying to understand. Our ancestors demanded perfection, absolute integration, or nothing. They couldn't accept partial transformation, couldn't tolerate existing between states. Humans are always between states, Rachel explained again. The ambassador struggled with the concept. We're never finished, never complete, always growing, always changing. Being in between isn't weakness, it's our natural condition. The ambassador's crystalline structure pulsed, colors shifting through stress patterns. 3 of my people have requested integration attempts. This terrifies our leadership. We've spent 3 million years defining ourselves by our refusal. Now our youth want to try what their ancestors fled. Let them choose, Owen suggested. Fear made you stagnant, curiosity might make you grow. Rachel felt the remnant's presence, always there, protective, patient, teaching them to perceive reality's deeper patterns. It was happy, truly happy, for the first time in its incomprehensible existence. It had companions who could share the vigil, who could witness infinity while maintaining identity, who could remember both the cosmic and the personal. The integrated ones are returning, Amy announced, excitement in her voice. The ancestors who merged fully, they're coming back to see what we've done. Reality twisted. Beings of pure energy emerged from stellar cores, consciousness that had abandoned biological form millions of years ago. The first fully integrated ancestors, coming to witness humanity's achievement. Rachel perceived them across multiple dimensions, beautiful, alien, fundamentally changed but still aware. They communicated in mathematics and music, concepts that took minutes to express in linear language. We chose absolute transformation, abandoned limited existence, became cosmic, but we lost connection to our origins, forgot what it meant to be small, finite. Mortal, you have achieved what we never imagined, remaining yourselves while touching infinity. Do you regret your choice? Rachel asked. We regret nothing. Our existence is magnificent, but we envy what you have, the ability to be both small and vast, to remember mortality while perceiving eternity. You are bridge between realities. We are only one side. Owen understood. You can't go back. We are too changed, too distributed, too cosmic. We exist across light years. Our thoughts take centuries. We cannot compress ourselves into biological forms again. But you can expand and contract, exist as human when needed, as cosmic when desired. This is the true achievement. The remnant spoke, vast and gentle. They were my first companions, I am grateful for them, but they dissolved into the vastness, became like me. Now I have companions who can translate, who can explain, who can help others understand that transformation need not mean annihilation. Rachel watched as more ships arrived, species overcoming eons of fear, willing to try, willing to learn, willing to grow. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through conquest or technology, but through simple demonstration, showing that evolution could be choice rather than fate. Earth wants to establish official embassy here, Owen reported, reading messages from home. They're calling us sentinels, guardians at the threshold, protectors of those who seek cosmic awareness. Bit dramatic, Dmitri muttered, installing quantum processors in the station core. We're just humans who got curious and lucky. We're humans who changed the rules, Amy corrected. Every species before us saw integration as all or nothing. We showed their spectrum, gradient, choice. That's revolutionary. Rachel felt it then, the weight of what they'd become, witnesses to eternity, bridges between realities, proof that consciousness could expand without erasing itself. They stood at threshold between limited and infinite, mortal and eternal, human and cosmic, and they chose to stay there, existing in that liminal space, helping others find their own balance. The remnant says reality is shifting, Amy said quietly, sharing knowledge from cosmic communion. The universe is entering new phase, physics will change, species that cannot adapt will fade. It's been warning us since contact. This is why it matters, why integration matters. Flexibility will determine survival. Owen looked at his crew, 47 humans who had become more without becoming other. Then we teach flexibility. We show the galaxy that change isn't death, that evolution is choice, that becoming more doesn't require forgetting what you were. Rachel accessed the remnant's vast memory, saw the universe that existed before this one, saw its death and this cosmos's birth, saw civilizations rise and fall across billions of years, saw the lonely vigil kept by last survivor of dead reality, and felt profound gratitude that humanity's stubborn curiosity had ended that loneliness. Incoming message from the singing swarms, Amy announced. They're ready, they want to try integration, all of them, entire species. Owen whistled. That's ambitious, billions of individuals. Their hive mind, Rachel explained. If it works for one, it works for all. If it fails, they all fail together, vary them. The remnant pulsed approval. Let them come, let them learn, let them witness. The galaxy awakens to larger reality. We are here to guide, to protect, to remember, and now, thanks to humanity, we are no longer alone in the vigil. Rachel Winters, xenobiologist, explorer, human, cosmic witness, looked out at the gathering fleet, species from across known space, coming to learn, to grow, to evolve, and thought about the journey, from simple curiosity about a strange signal to standing watch at the edge of infinity. Status report, Owen asked. Commander habits unchanged despite cosmic awareness. Station operating optimally, volunteers arriving on schedule. The remnant is stable and happy. Reality is weird but manageable. Humanity remains human despite everything. Rachel smiled. Just another day at the threshold of infinity. Dmitri laughed. We found cosmic horror and turned it into cosmic wonder. Very human solution. Amy added, and now we're teaching the galaxy how to dance with the incomprehensible. I'd say that's a successful mission. The Sentinels stood watch, forever changed but forever themselves, proving that evolution and identity could coexist, that becoming more didn't require becoming other, that the universe's strangest gift was simply this, the choice to grow. And in the depths of space, wrapped around a small human station, the last witness to a dead universe felt something it never thought possible, belonging.